It's easy to run up a hefty bar tab if you're not careful, but you can still find mixed drinks at your price point if you're in the mood for a cocktail. Try ordering one of these cheap mixed drinks that taste delicious and won't break the bank. Rum is a great liquor to order when you're looking to drink on the cheap. Add it to a mixer as strongly flavored as Coca-Cola, and you can mix in the cheapest rum at the bar. You won't be able to taste the difference. A standard rum and coke is anywhere from 1.5 to 2 ounces of alcohol, which is the equivalent of 1 beer or a glass of wine. That means it's not the strongest drink at the bar, but it does go down easy, so sip slowly if you want to make it last. It's also important to note that Coke does contain caffeine. If you're trying to avoid those late-night caffeine jitters, try mixing rum with soda water, ginger beer, or pineapple juice instead. Mojitos are ridiculously delicious because they're super simple in concept but complex in flavor. They're made by first crushing refreshing mint leaves to bring out their essential oils. Then mix that with citrusy lime, a pinch of sugar, and white rum. Top it off with crushed ice and soda water, and it creates a thirst-quenching drink that's perfect on a hot summer day. Unfortunately, this is one of those drinks that will make the bartender hate you because when there's a line of customers waiting for their drink, these are kind of a pain to make. But still, the mint and lime has so much flavor that this drink will taste fantastic even if you use inexpensive rum. But just don't forget to tip. We would be remiss if we didn't offer this warning on the Mojito. If you're at a dive bar, you'll want to skip this one. This is one of those cocktails that requires really fresh ingredients to taste great, so you may want to ask the bartender if they have fresh mint and lime behind the bar. Mint only lasts about a week, and you might end up with bacteria from spoiled mint in your drink if the bar doesn't go through it quickly enough. It's all about reading the room.
Hey, are you okay? I heard yelling.
Yeah, I'm very angry and I'm really drunk. Do you want to dance with me? Go get me another snork juice.
Vodka is a great base spirit for anyone on a budget. Since vodka doesn't have much of a taste to begin with, you can use inexpensive options when pairing the spirit with strong mixers. Something like cranberry juice is perfect because it has a bold and assertive flavor. This drink is also known as the Cape Codder because of the abundance of cranberry bogs in Massachusetts. It's easy enough to make. Just fill a glass with ice, add vodka and cranberry juice, and garnish with a wedge of lime. Pure cranberry juice can be bitter, but it also happens to be really healthy. You'll get a boost of antioxidants with each drink. If the flavor is too strong for your liking, ask the bartender to add a splash of soda water. You could always order it the other way around too. Ask for a vodka soda with a splash of cranberry. It's a lower carb option and it'll taste better than vodka and soda alone. The old-fashioned is a classy drink, but also one that's pretty simple to make. It's made just with whiskey, sugar, bitters, and water, but it will make inexpensive whiskeys taste significantly better than ordering them on the rocks. It's also a good drink to sip slowly, so you can drink one for every 2 beers your friends order. If you want to make the drink go a little further, ask the bartender to use crushed ice instead of a giant cube. It'll melt more quickly and water down the drink. You could also ask for a splash of soda water too, if the flavor is too strong for your liking. Traditionally, an old-fashioned is made with a sugar cube dotted with a few drops of bitters. If you add a splash of water and crush the cube with a cocktail muddler, it will completely dissolve into whiskey. But no matter what you do, don't ruin this cocktail by asking for sugar substitutes like Splenda or stevia. The sugar's purpose is to balance out the spicy alcohol flavor, and the cocktail just won't taste the same with artificial substitutes. The 7 & 7 is one of those drinks that will taste exactly the same no matter where or when you order it. It's simple in flavor because it's made with only 2 ingredients, Seagram's 7 Crown Blended Whiskey and 7-Up Soda. Mix them together, serve it over ice, and garnish it with a lime wedge to create a sparkling whiskey drink that's ridiculously refreshing. The pairing has been a classic since the 70s because it's so easy to make. It doesn't hurt that this sweet flavor of 7-Up covers up the mediocre flavor of the blended whiskey, too. American blended whiskeys are so inexpensive because they only have to contain 20% whiskey. And while that makes Seagram's a go-to whiskey for budget seekers, the company doesn't seem to be bothered by this reputation. In fact, they embraced the divey nature of this cocktail by launching National Dive Bar Day on July 7th, 2018. Get it? 7 and 7? Gin has a love it or hate it kind of reputation. Some people dig its citrusy, piney flavor and aroma, while others find drinking it to be akin to chewing on a handful of pine needles. If you're not a gin fan, you'll want to skip right past this drink. There's really no covering up gin's assertive flavor by mixing it with the eclectic flavors in tonic water. You could always order a vodka tonic, but the gin and tonic is one of our favorite cheap mixed drinks to order at a bar. There are some great gin brands out there, and most of them won't break the bank like tequila or whiskey. Mix even a medium-quality gin with the bittersweet flavors of tonic water, add in a spritz of fresh lemon and lime, and you'll be drinking on the cheap all night long without sacrificing taste.
Prairie drink-off.
Oh, what's in that jug? It smells like jet fuel.
If you notice any copper mugs behind the bar, you should do yourself a favor and order up a Moscow Mule. Believe it or not, the mug itself is actually an integral ingredient in this inexpensive cocktail. When it's not served in copper, a Moscow Mule is just a refreshing combination of vodka, ginger beer, and lime. Put it all together in a copper mug with crushed ice, and this drink becomes legendary. The copper keeps the drink extra cold, chilling your lips from the moment you take a sip. It also keeps the ginger beer as fizzy as possible, as cold temps help carbon dioxide bubbles stay in suspension. Like other inexpensive vodka drinks, the flavor of the ginger beer can cover up the lackluster flavor of cheap vodka, so sip away without blowing your budget. The other great thing about a Moscow Mule is it's often featured during happy hour, so this inexpensive drink can become even more affordable if you time it out right. Margaritas might be featured at Mexican restaurants, but almost every bar you visit has everything they need to whip up this classic drink. You don't need to be drinking top-shelf tequila with fancy additions to make a margarita taste great either. There are a ton of cheap tequilas out there. If you choose one that's made with 100% agave, you'll save a ton of money and still get a great-tasting drink. But keep in mind that many people find that tequilas that aren't made with pure agave, like Jose Cuervo Gold, can lead to headaches the next day, so you'll have to decide for yourself if it's really worth it to go super cheap here. If you happen to be at a bar with fresh lime juice, all the better. Margaritas are often made with sours mix, a concoction made from sugar and citrus juice. Unfortunately, most commercial sours mixes also have a ton of additives and preservatives. But if your bartender mixes up your margarita with real lime juice and a splash of simple syrup, it'll taste so much better. A cosmopolitan cocktail sounds fancy, and it definitely looks the part too. It contains a splash of cranberry juice that turns the drink a vibrant pink color, and it looks super elegant served up in a martini glass. You would think a drink like this would only be affordable for socialites, but we'll let you in on a little secret. It's not that expensive to make. Bars can get away with using inexpensive vodka because you can't taste the difference, so you may as well order it with the well vodka. Pro tip: ask the bartender to make the drink with well vodka instead of the expensive citrus varieties, and use triple sec instead of Cointreau. By the time it's mixed with lime and cranberry juices, you won't be able to tell the difference. When you think of a daiquiri, you probably think of the frozen, slushy varieties served up poolside at exotic beach resorts. The classic version of this cocktail couldn't be further from the frozen variety, and it can be made on the cheap too. A classic daiquiri is the perfect way to feature rum because it's so simple. The bar only needs 3 ingredients to pull it off: white rum, fresh lime juice, and simple syrup. Most establishments serve the drink up in a broad, stemmed glass so it looks fancy, but you can always ask for it on the rocks to make it last longer. We'll leave you with a word of warning about this drink. It's really easy to fall in love with the sweet and tangy flavor of a classic daiquiri, so be sure to sip slowly to make your drink last so you don't have regrets later.
No!
This simple cocktail is made with 2 ingredients, but it tastes complex enough to be named Bermuda's unofficial drink. Thank the dark rum, unlike its light counterpart, dark rum is deep and rich with a stronger flavor. To make a dark and stormy, dark rum is mixed with ginger beer and served over ice. It's traditionally made with a Bermuda-made Gosling's Black Seal rum. This is definitely an affordable option, so there's really no reason to diverge unless the bar has a less expensive aged rum. If the bar happens to be out of ginger beer and you were really in the mood for this drink, ask for a dark rum and coke. It definitely won't be the same, but it'll still be a rich, flavorful option, particularly for those nights when you're in the mood for something just a little bit different. Mimosas are one of the best cocktails to whip up for brunch, but it's not unheard of to order one in the evening. In fact, when mimosas were originally introduced in the United States, they were served at nightclubs to help people cool off after a long night of dancing. It wasn't long before they became a brunch favorite because they're easy to drink and just as simple to make. It's equal parts orange juice and champagne. Champagne doesn't exactly have a reputation for being cheap, but most restaurants aren't using the expensive stuff to make a mimosa anyway. Once you mix it with sweet and tangy orange juice, you won't be able to taste the expensive bubbles anyway. That means you can order a mimosa with less expensive Prosecco or Cava. This is one of those drinks that's worth asking the bartender if they have any specials too. If the bartender had any leftover bubbles from brunch service, you may be able to get this drink at a great value. Southern Comfort is a New Orleans-made liquor inspired by an 1874 recipe. It's not quite a bourbon and it's not quite a whiskey. In fact, it's actually a bottled cocktail. North American whiskey is blended with citrus, honey, and spices to make a whiskey drink that's sippable straight out of the glass. No mixers required. Add in fresh lime juice though, and you have yourself a mixed drink that tastes fantastic and won't break the bank. Don't be afraid to mix Southern Comfort with other mixers either. The base liquor is really inexpensive, so it's a great choice when ordering cheap mixed drinks. Try mixing with cranberry juice and soda water, lemonade, or iced tea. It also makes a great play on a Jack and Coke. It has a sweeter flavor than regular whiskey, but it still pairs well with the bold flavors of Coca-Cola. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about your favorite drinks are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.